So if you want an amazing burger at home in Norway, you're going to have to make it yourself. Out in the real world, you can pay an arm and a leg and still not get an amazing burger, which is a double whammy. So this is a bit of an involved process, but worth every bit of it because a burger like this is just pretty unbelievable. So there is no good burger without good meat. And if you want good meat that you're going to be able to make this kind of burger with, you're going to have to grind your own. Now, the meat here is what they call in Norway høyrygg, or we call chuck roast in the US. So we go over the border to Sweden and get this. You get it a good quality at around half or less than half the price. Now the border's closed now because of COVID, but maybe one fine day you can go over the border and get some of this meat. Otherwise, you can buy it here in Norway, but it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. Now, if you're wondering why you need this so much, it's because a lot of the meat in the market has salt and water added to it, and that's just out. And even much of the ground meat that doesn't have salt and water in it it's a bit kind of pasty. And if you look when the camera goes into the bowl, the meat there, it looks like kind of granulated, like in little tiny small chunks that are like falling apart. And that's the kind of meat that will really make a great burger. So you need a meat grinder. You can get one that's just a hand grinder or a purpose-built meat grinder or an attachment, but you're going to need a meat grinder to do this. And don't be afraid of the fat that you see on the meat. A percentage of even up towards 20% fat is just fine. A lot of that fat will cook out and render out, but that'll make a juicy burger. So don't be afraid of the fat. Fat is flavor. Now we even get so extreme as to make our own hamburger breads, and this is also worth the effort. Way better than what you'll typically get. And we're not going to actually specifically make a video about making your own hamburger buns, but we'll put the link in the description to the recipe we use. There's a lot of good recipes out on the net. We'll let you figure out the hamburger buns yourself. Now, since we're making smash burgers, you're going to need a bit of gear. All the way on the left there, a scraper. You're going to see that used a little later. You need, of course, a spatula to turn it over with. And then that's a homemade smasher that I found these little stainless steel little ringy things in the store. They didn't cost almost anything. And I just siliconed a handle on to that to smash the burgers with. And then a little oil and salt, not too exotic there. Now in the background, you see I have that big steel plate that's been in some of the other videos. And that's really ideal. I've got that big steel plate with a big gas burner underneath. Now, if you don't have that, what you're going to want is a cast iron pan or a carbon steel pan. And since we're going to be making double burgers, you really kind of want two pans. So you can do one patty in each pan to make doubles. And it will be difficult to make more than one burger at a time. Even with that large plate I have, I usually only make 2 or 3 double burgers at a time. So we have to kind of stagger them. That's just how it is, but it's doable. Now you can use a Teflon pan if that's all you have, but cast iron or carbon steel is definitely better. So to get ready, we're going to cut burger bun in half and butter the inside. And then we need 2 meatballs, about 80 to 90 grams each for 1 double burger. And here's everything that's going on the burger. American yellow mustard, Hellmann's mayonnaise is best if you can manage. We've got some sliced pickle, and this pickle has no sugar in it. There's no sugar. You can't have sweet pickles, so you have to find pickles, and that'll either be in Sweden or at a foreign store here in Norway. But check the ingredients list on the pickles. It can't have any sugar, and you don't want it all blinged out. Just basically the agurk and vinegar and salt is what you want. And then there's some sliced onions and a slice of American cheese. So, to be honest, this is the second burger I made out of this batch. And on the first one, I broke my rules and I put some tomato and lettuce on it. And it was good. But the reason I say that I recommend against it is because to me, it just kind of goes out of balance. You get an amazing taste without all that stuff because of the balance. When you have salad and tomato on there as well, it just kind of dilutes out the meaty taste, and it's just a little less burgery, even though it's good. So I recommend trying it. And you don't need, in a really good burger, you shouldn't need any stuff like bacon or something like that either. Just often simple is best. So I recommend trying it this way, and then if you just can't live without like lettuce and tomato, go ahead and do it. But if you do this up right, I doubt you'll go back. So now we're starting the process. So as this plate is warming up, I put the buttered breads down on the plate to toast them a bit. You're going to see why this is really important, that everything is ready to go when you do this. Because it happens fast, and you want to get into that burger as soon as it's ready. Don't leave it sitting around. So I got my bun, and scoop it up and take it inside to load it up with all the stuff I have ready inside. So while I'm doing this, of course, the plate outside is getting hotter because it needs to be hotter for the burgers. So yellow mustard, like French's style American mustard on the bottom, onion and pickle, and then you're going to put some mayonnaise on the top of the bun. So just doing this is pretty much, this is real time. And in the meantime, like I said, that plate is getting hotter outside. So I get it all ready, and then I take it out with me. And I got to take that slice of American cheese with me because I'm going to be putting that on out there. So back at the grill, I'm going to use just a tiny bit of oil. You don't need much oil, but just want a thin coating on the plate. And you probably see a little smoke happening here pretty soon. Yeah, there you can see some smoke coming off. That shows you're up to good temperature. And I'll put those two little things out there just separated a bit. And you can see how kind of crumbly they are. That's the sign of that good meat. So I'm going to take the hamburger smasher I have, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on that so it doesn't stick to the meat when I smash the burgers out. And once that's ready, it's smashing time. So you just really smash it out flat, like they can get quite thin. Those could even be thinner than that, but they're going to be thin. And the cool thing is the flavor is just really good. You're building up a lot of this searing, on the meat. You get a lot more space that's seared when you do a double burger and a smash burger like this. I'm putting some salt on. It looks like a lot of salt, but a lot of that's just blowing away in the wind. So, and now at this point, you're just watching for doneness. And I'm going to have to use my scraper now to flip them. So you're just watching close. This is pretty much real time at this point. You're going to see some browning starting to happen around those edges, and you can see it's kind of cooked a little bit in those holes. And those holes, that's totally normal. You'll have that when you make this kind of burger. So don't think they're too thin. That's really the right way to go. So now I got to release them. Even though I used oil and everything, I'm using really high heat and getting a really good sear. And if I don't use a scraper like this or a sharp spatula to first release them, I'm going to end up leaving all that good crust that I made on the burger. I'm going to end up leaving it on the grill, and that's a bomb that's just too big to live with. So now you see that they're released, and now I can come and flip them. You see, you get all that browning, and they come up. There's nothing left on the grill, and now they're basically done now. So I'm just gonna slap it with some cheese. I turn off the heat, grab the other burger, and put it on top of the cheese there. And then I got my plate sitting right next to me, and load that sucker up on the burger, and it's ready to go. So I'm gonna take it inside and just cut it in half so you can see it. but you can see the meat's kind of falling apart. It's not all stuck together and sort of hard like a lot of burgers are. It's crumbly, juicy, good, and the balance like this is just awesome. You got to try it.